Beach Volleyball Defense 101. Finally. I know, it's been a long time coming. In our last video, we talked about beach volleyball blocking calls and what exactly the blocker is doing. His movements, his responsibilities, his objectives, etc. In this video, we're gonna talk about what the defender does in each of those blocking calls. We're gonna discuss the positioning of when blocking line and angle, and then by the end of the video, for those of you looking to take your game to the next level, we will break down the advanced pro level movements, the shows and takes. As Madison mentioned, that now you see me, now you don't. And how to trick the other team with the perfect timing of your moves, jukes, and fakes so that they roll the ball right in your lap. And lastly, I have a very, very important announcement to make at the end of the video, so make sure you watch till the end. Okay. Many of you might be thinking, oh, I've played volleyball for years. I already know how to play defense. I also used to play indoor volleyball. I played in college at the University of Southern California. I played in Greece for 2 years, 1 year actually with Madison, and Italy's A1 Super League for 3 years.
Loro hanno giocato veramente forte.
And defense was my jam. And I am still learning new tricks and techniques every single day and experimenting with them at practice. My point is, no matter what level you're at, you can always learn something new, a new strategy, a new technique. And whatever it may be, always try it out and see if it works for you. And let me tell you why this concept is important for beach volleyball defense. There is one blocker at the net. One. So in beach volleyball, it's effectively one-on-one every single time. Indoor volleyball, one-on-one situation is almost a guaranteed kill. And that's with 4 other defenders helping you out. In beach volleyball, it's always one-on-one. So the odds are never in your favor as a defender. I mean, when you think about it, beach volleyball is kind of a ridiculous sport. You have 2 people trying to cover the same amount of real estate as 6 people do in indoor, give or take a couple square feet. That's insane. I preface this video with that because the way defense is played in beach volleyball is much more reliant on reads, jukes, and fakes rather than designated specific positioning as in indoor volleyball. Okay, hold on one second. If you haven't seen this video right here, stop what you're doing, click that, watch it, and then come right back here. Even if you're a short guy and think, oh, I'm never gonna be a blocker, I don't need to watch that video. You have to know what your partner is doing and memorize his objectives so that way you can plan your movements and fakes accordingly depending on what he's doing. So go watch that video. Go watch it, then come right back. I'll be waiting for you. Welcome back, guys. Now since you guys all know the blocking calls and what 1, 2, 3, and 4 mean, let's get into it. Okay, blocking line defense. It is the most commonly used blocking call on the beach for a couple reasons. It takes away the hardest hit to dig, that straight down bounce down the line, and leaves the angle hit, which is an easier ball to dig, for the defender, and the high line to run down. Blocking line makes the most rational sense in that between blocker and defender, you guys can cover pretty much the entire court without having to give anything up, in theory. So as Madison talked about, the job of the blocker when blocking line is to seal the line and take away that seam, deep middle hit. Your job as a defender is to play just inside of that seam hand and defend the angle hit. Yeah, but what about that high line that I can never pick up? Yeah, the $1 million question, the plight of every beach volleyball defender. Trust me, I know. Here's what I'll say about that. You have 2 options. Depending on the level of proficiency of the other team with each blocking call, you can either designate a quadrant on the court that you are giving up completely. Just say, F it. If the hitter reads the defense and hits that vacant quadrant, good for you. If you're playing against a weaker team, you can try to defend all the quadrants, just leave the perfect shots. Just let them have it, whatever. So in the case of blocking line, you would normally give up the high line, so this back corner quadrant here. Again, this all depends on tendencies, which way the wind is blowing, whether the hitter is a cross body hitter or a wrist away hitter, but that's a whole nother video in itself. But generally speaking, if the hitter is by the antenna, here is your spot. The closer the player gets towards the middle, the deeper and more towards the middle you can cheat because of the disappearing court available for the cut shot. Did that make sense? All right, moving on to blocking angle defense. Angle. Angle never feels right? The blocker has to take away the whole court, and you as a defender are just a sitting duck on the line. Rationally speaking, it doesn't really make any sense, but there is a time and a place for it, and it's important to know this call so you can give the hitter a different look. If you're always blocking line all the time, the other team gets in a rhythm and it just starts getting easier and easier and easier for the other team to side out as the game progresses. For angle, you have a couple of options. You can either go right to your spot and sit on the line. Yeah, but then the hitter is gonna see me. Yeah, I know, hold on. Sometimes it's so obvious the hitter thinks you're gonna move and they just end up rolling it right to you. No joke, happens all the time. Another thing you can do is hide behind the blocker and slide into your spot late. The last thing you can do is get to your spot on the line and fake like you're gonna move towards the angle and then just stay. So you have 3 options for blocking angle. Now it's time for the show and take defensive schemes. Ooh, my favorite. The 3s and the 4s. The 3 call, show angle, block line defense. Like Madison talked about in the blocking video, the 3 block is the same setup as an angle block, faking like he's gonna block angle, but dives back to block the line hit. This is one of the reasons why you block angle sometimes, to set up the 3 call. The defender's responsibility is to sit on the line just as you would with an angle block. And then when the attacker isn't looking, go and pick up the high angle or the cut shot that just a second ago seemed available. There are a few movements you can do here. One is to sit on the line and at the last second, bail to the angle. The other is to hide behind the blocker, and when the hitter goes to take a peek, finally jump out to the line and then bail to the angle. Both are solid options and both have a time and place. The 4 call, show line, block angle, defense. Blocking line sets up the 4 call. So as a defender, you are playing for that high line shot. You set up as you would in basic line defense, and then at the last second, break to the line. You can also try hiding behind the blocker and taking a step into the angle when the attacker takes his peek and then break quickly to the line. Both great options. Now, perfecting the art of timing. So, when exactly do you make your fake or your move? I analyzed a few players, John Hayden and Daniele Lupo, that I admire and try to emulate when I play defense to make sure I'm providing you guys with the right information as far as proper timing for your defensive jukes and moves. Okay? So, this is legit. I like to call this concept the Peaky Blinder.
The Peaky Blinder.
Great show if you haven't seen it, but let me tell you why I call it the Peaky Blinder. The trick to the Peaky Blinder is when the player loads up to jump and hit and takes his peek, you want to show him the opposite of where you will end up. This is the peaky. And when he takes his eyes off of you to see the set and initiates his jump, you quickly make your move to where you want to end up. The blinder.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
Makes sense, right? This timing is super important in beach volleyball. It's the difference between digging 2 or 3 balls a set or digging 6 or 7. Game changer. Get this timing down, practice it at practice. I know that was a lot of information, but the beauty of YouTube is you can just hit that replay button and watch it all over again. Now, time for the big announcement. Guys, we are changing our YouTube channel name from MCK Volleyball to the McKibbin Brothers. All the content will remain the same. We'll still be producing the same kind of videos. We're just changing a couple letters around. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. Don't worry. Also, we just launched our new e-commerce store with all of our merchandise. We got our playing hats, black and white, and the thing I'm most excited about are our Beard Bro tank tops and shirts. Business on the outside, party on the inside. Check it out. Huh? So anyone can become a Beard Bro. I'll put the link in the description below. I really hope you guys learned something from this video. It took me years to learn the proper movements and jukes and fakes for beach volleyball's defense. So if you guys did learn something, please hit that like button right there. It really helps us out. And if you guys aren't already subscribed, go ahead and click that giant red button right there, or even better yet, that little bell, little icon thing right there. If you click that button, That notifies you every single time we come out with a new video, not just sometimes. Until next time, guys, thanks again. Ciao.